Ladies and gentlemen, let me share something with you that most people won't. You do not require the world's approval to be recognized as beautiful. Beauty is not found in filters, makeup, or luxury brands. It exists in the way you rise after life knocks you down, in how you love despite heartbreak, and in the way you carry yourself even when no one is watching. True beauty is power, and if you carry these qualities, believe me, you are a stunning woman, divinely cherished and deeply valued. But here's the issue. Too many women fail to see it. They chase approval from people who don't even deserve access to them. They shrink themselves to fit into spaces they have already outgrown. They allow self-doubt to steal the confidence they were born with. Not today. Today we will discuss what makes you truly beautiful, so beautiful that the right people will have no choice but to respect you, while the wrong ones won't even know how to handle you. So stay with me, because by the end, you will understand your worth like never before. Real beauty is not something you apply. It is something you carry within yourself. It is not the makeup you put on, the outfit you select, or the compliments you receive. It goes far deeper than that. It is in your presence, in your energy, in the way you make others feel without even trying. It is in how you carry yourself when no one is around, how you treat those who can offer you nothing in return, and how you hold yourself together in moments of difficulty. Beauty is not only seen, it is felt. A woman who truly embodies beauty does not need to convince the world of her worth. She does not chase validation or seek approval from strangers, nor does she change herself just to fit in. She knows exactly who she is, and that alone makes her magnetic. When she enters a room, people notice, not because she demands attention, but because her confidence and grace make them pause. She does not need to be the loudest in the room, yet her presence speaks volumes. This kind of beauty cannot be purchased, it cannot be faked, and it cannot be imitated. It comes from self-awareness, from inner peace, and from the deep understanding that she is enough exactly as she is. This is why a truly beautiful woman does not compare herself to others. She does not look at another woman's success, appearance, or life and feel threatened. She does not shrink out of insecurity or push herself beyond her limits to compete. She is not in competition with anyone because she understands that no one else can be her. A woman who possesses true beauty carries herself with quiet strength. She does not need to prove anything to anyone. She is kind, not for praise, but because kindness is part of who she is. She is graceful, not for admiration, but because grace is a reflection of her wisdom. Through experience, she has learned that real beauty is about how you make others feel, how you navigate life's struggles, and how you stand firm in your truth when the world tries to shake you. What sets her apart is not merely her ability to turn heads, but her ability to touch hearts. She understands that beauty is not about perfection, but authenticity. She is comfortable being herself and unafraid to show her imperfections because she recognizes that perfection is an illusion. Rather than pretending to be flawless, she embraces her journey, her highs, her lows, her victories, her scars, her lessons, and her growth. Every challenge she has faced has shaped her into the woman she is today. A truly beautiful woman radiates a presence that is unforgettable. When she speaks, people listen. Not because she speaks the loudest, but because her words carry depth. When she moves, people watch. Not because she seeks attention, but because her confidence is undeniable. When she loves, people feel it. Not because she gives love carelessly, but because her love is intentional, deep, and real. She does not need a man to validate her, a title to define her, or an audience to make her feel important. She is important simply because she exists. She does not settle for less than what aligns with her values. She does not tolerate disrespect. She does not allow herself to be treated as an option when she knows she is a priority. She does not chase relationships that require her to beg for basic respect. She understands that beauty is not about conforming to someone else's idea of perfection. It is about standing firmly in who she is. She walks away from situations that do not serve her, not because she is arrogant, but because she respects herself too much to stay where she is not valued. She sets boundaries and enforces them. Not because she is difficult, but because she has standards. She moves with purpose, not to impress others, but because she knows she was created for more than just existing. She was created to thrive, even in moments of doubt. Even when she is knocked down, she refuses to stay there. She picks herself up, dusts herself off, and keeps going. She understands that strength is not about never falling. It is about always rising again. And with every obstacle she overcomes, she becomes even more beautiful, even more powerful, and even more unshakable. This kind of beauty is rare, which is why not everyone will understand it. Some will be intimidated by her confidence. Others will mistake her kindness for weakness. Some will try to dim her light because they fear their own shadows. But none of that will stop her because she knows exactly who she is. She knows her worth. She knows that real beauty is not defined by trends, opinions, or fleeting admiration. It is something deeper, something lasting, something undeniable. So if you carry yourself with confidence, if you walk with grace, if you hold your head high, not out of pride, but out of self-respect, then you, my dear, are a truly gorgeous woman. Not because the world says so, but because you have chosen to see it in yourself. And that is the most powerful beauty of all. A woman who truly embodies beauty does not rely on the world to tell her who she is. She does not depend on compliments to feel worthy, nor does she let criticism shake her confidence. She understands that true beauty is found in self-awareness, in knowing who she is, what she stands for, and what she refuses to tolerate. She does not need to be reminded that she is special. She already knows it. Not with arrogance, but with a deep, quiet certainty rooted in self-respect. She does not follow trends blindly or succumb to social pressure. She does not feel the need to prove herself constantly or compete for attention. Instead, she focuses on becoming the best version of herself. She strengthens her mind, nurtures her heart, and keeps her spirit grounded in truth. The world will try to tell women that their beauty is measured by their looks, their youth, or their desirability. But a truly beautiful woman sees beyond this illusion. She knows that external beauty fades, but character remains. She understands that admiration is fleeting, but respect is lasting. She does not chase approval from those who cannot recognize her worth. She does not beg to be chosen. She does not force people to stay in her life. If someone fails to see her value, she lets them go without hesitation. She understands that rejection is merely redirection, life's way of making space for those who truly appreciate her. She does not allow rejection to define her. Instead, she walks confidently, knowing her worth, knowing that she is enough exactly as she is. And that, my dear, is what makes her truly beautiful. She is not impressed by empty words, by shallow compliments, or by temporary praise. She does not fall for flattery that lacks sincerity. She does not allow momentary admiration to cloud her judgment. She seeks depth, truth, and authenticity. She understands that the kind of beauty that truly matters is not the one that fades with time, but the one that grows stronger with wisdom, self-love, and character. She does not change who she is to fit someone else's expectations. She does not shape herself to be more likable, nor does she pretend to be someone she is not just to be accepted. She stands firm in her identity. She embraces her flaws, her quirks, and her unique essence. She understands that she was never meant to be like anyone else. She was meant to be herself, and that is what makes her truly beautiful. This is a woman who cannot be defined by the outside world. She is not moved by trends, by fads, or by fleeting admiration. She is steady, grounded, and unwavering. She does not allow herself to be shaken by rejection, by negativity, or by people who fail to see her value. She does not bend to please others. She does not compromise her truth to make others comfortable. She does not need permission to be confident, to be bold, or to be herself, because she knows deep within that her worth was never meant to be questioned, it was never meant to be debated, it was never meant to be determined by anyone but herself. And when a woman walks with that level of certainty, when she knows who she is without hesitation, she becomes unstoppable. And that right there is the kind of beauty that can never be ignored. A woman who is truly beautiful carries a heart that radiates kindness, but make no mistake, she is not naive. She loves deeply, but she does not allow herself to be taken advantage of. She gives freely, but she does not let others drain her. She has a strong and nurturing spirit, but she refuses to be used as a stepping stone for those who do not value her. She understands the power of her love, and she does not waste it on those who are unworthy. She has learned through experience that not everyone who smiles at her has good intentions. Not everyone who calls her special actually sees her worth. Some people only come into her life to take her energy, to take her kindness, to take her patience. And for a long time, she may have given freely, believing that love meant always being available, always being forgiving, always being selfless. But wisdom has taught her a valuable lesson. Love must be given to those who reciprocate it, respect must be mutual, and effort must be balanced. And if it is not, she is no longer afraid to walk away. She understands now that setting boundaries is not selfish, it is necessary. She has learned that a woman who allows everyone access to her heart will end up exhausted, drained, and depleted. She refuses to be that woman. She no longer gives endless chances to people who do not appreciate her. She no longer entertains those who bring her stress instead of peace. She no longer lowers her standards to accommodate people who refuse to rise. This kind of woman knows her value, and because of that, she is careful about who she lets into her life. She does not chase people. She does not beg for love. She does not hold on to relationships that are one-sided. If someone does not see her worth, she does not try to convince them. She simply removes herself from the equation because she knows this truth. A woman who knows her value does not beg to be chosen. She chooses herself. She does not let loneliness make her desperate. She understands that solitude is better than toxic company. She is at peace with being alone because she knows that being alone does not mean being lonely. It means being in her own presence, protecting her energy, and keeping her heart safe. She does not jump into relationships out of fear of being by herself. She does not tolerate mistreatment just to say she has someone. She does not settle for less than she deserves because she knows that love should never cost her self-respect. She has learned that real love is not built on manipulation, guilt, or control. It is not about proving her worth to someone who refuses to see it. It is not about tolerating disrespect just to keep the peace. It is not about sacrificing her happiness to make someone else comfortable. Real love brings growth, it brings security, it brings mutual effort, mutual understanding, and mutual respect. And if she does not find that, she will wait. Because a woman who values herself would rather wait for real love than settle for an illusion. This woman knows that she is not difficult to love. She is not too much. She is not hard to handle. She simply has standards. She knows that the right person will not be intimidated by her strength. The right person will not ask her to shrink. The right person will not see her confidence as a threat. And until she meets someone who understands this, she is more than happy to walk alone because she refuses to waste her love on people who only take and never give. She no longer explains herself to those who refuse to understand her. She no longer apologizes for having high expectations. She no longer tolerates inconsistency, half-hearted effort, or empty promises. She demands more, not because she is arrogant, but because she knows she deserves it. She refuses to beg for what should be freely given. She refuses to accept less than she is willing to give. She refuses to be an option when she knows she is a priority. A woman with this level of self-awareness is powerful. She cannot be manipulated because she sees through false intentions. She cannot be guilt-tripped into staying in situations that no longer serve her. She cannot be made to believe that she is asking for too much, when in reality she is simply asking for what she deserves. She is fearless in her choices, bold in her decisions, and unshakable in her self-worth. People will test her. Some will try to push past her boundaries. Some will call her cold because she does not entertain their games. Some will call her too independent because she does not tolerate their disrespect. But she does not care. She does not waste energy proving herself to people who were never meant to be in her life in the first place. She walks away without hesitation. She lets go without looking back. And in doing so, she makes space for what is truly meant for her. She knows that her love is a gift, not a transaction. She knows that her energy is sacred, not something to be taken lightly. She knows that she is not here to fix broken people who refuse to heal themselves. She is not here to sacrifice her happiness for people who refuse to meet her halfway. She is not here to settle for anything less than the love, respect, and peace she deserves, because she knows who she is, and that alone is enough. She carries self-respect with grace. She is kind, but she never allows herself to be mistreated. She does not let people take advantage of her kindness for their own selfish purposes. If someone tries to use her, she does not seek revenge, nor does she stoop to their level. Instead, she distances herself from situations that do not value her worth. She forgives, not because the other person necessarily deserves it, but because she refuses to carry the heavy weight of resentment. She understands that kindness is not a weakness, but a true sign of inner strength. It requires courage to stay kind in the face of cruelty, to choose grace instead of bitterness, love over hatred, and peace instead of conflict. She is not blind to the reality of the world. She knows that not everyone will appreciate her kindness, and some will attempt to exploit it, but she remains true to herself because she understands that changing who she is out of fear would only mean allowing the world to harden her heart. She is kind, but she is also wise. She does not keep giving to those who only take. She does not waste her energy on people who drain her spirit. True kindness also involves knowing when to walk away, when to protect her peace, and when to say that she has given enough. She chooses herself, understanding that kindness extends to how she treats herself as well. People are naturally drawn to her, not just because of her beauty, but because of the energy she radiates. She has a presence that is warm, genuine, and inviting. She does not pretend to be flawless, nor wear a mask to impress others. Her authenticity makes her kindness even more powerful. She does not do things for the sake of appearance. When she gives, helps, or loves, it is real. Her kindness should never be mistaken for weakness. It is not something to be underestimated. It takes real courage to remain gentle in a world that can be unkind. It takes strength to choose compassion, to believe in goodness, even when life gives her every reason not to. But she does it anyway because that is who she is, because that is what makes her rare, and because that is what makes her truly and undeniably beautiful. She carries herself with dignity, and it is this quiet confidence that makes her unforgettable. A truly remarkable woman does not need to announce her worth or seek validation from the world because she already knows who she is. Her presence alone commands respect, not because she demands it, but because she embodies it. When she walks into a room, without even speaking a word, people can sense her strength, the grace in her movements, and the certainty in her spirit. Dignity is not just about appearance. It is about how she treats herself, how she allows others to treat her, and how she carries herself in moments of adversity. She does not lower herself to match the negativity of others. She does not engage in meaningless arguments, nor does she get pulled into unnecessary drama. She understands that real power is not about proving a point, but about knowing when to walk away. Her dignity is reflected in the way she holds her head high, the way she speaks with intention, and the way she chooses her words carefully. She does not waste time gossiping or speaking ill of others. She does not entertain conversations driven by jealousy, resentment, or insecurity. When she speaks, people listen, not because she is the loudest in the room, but because she speaks with wisdom and substance. She does not chase after people who fail to see her value, nor does she beg for attention. She does not compromise her standards just to fit in or be liked. She understands that not everyone will appreciate her presence, and that is perfectly fine with her. She does not measure her worth by how many people admire or validate her. If something or someone does not align with her values, she lets it go, knowing that her peace is far more valuable than temporary approval. Her self-respect is unwavering. She does not allow herself to be disrespected or mistreated. If someone crosses a boundary, she does not hesitate to remove herself from the situation. She does not hold on to toxic relationships out of fear of being alone. She understands that solitude is far better than surrounding herself with people who do not honor her. She is selective about who she allows into her life, not out of arrogance, but out of self-respect. She handles challenges with grace. When life presents obstacles, she does not fall apart, nor does she allow difficulties to define her. She meets struggles with resilience, understanding that hardships do not break her, they refine her. She does not dwell on what is unfair. Instead, she focuses on what she can control, on what she can learn, and how she can grow from every experience. When she makes mistakes, she takes responsibility. She does not make excuses or shift blame. She owns her actions and moves forward with humility. She is not afraid to admit when she is wrong, nor is she afraid to apologize when necessary. At the same time, she does not allow anyone to manipulate her into accepting blame that is not hers. She knows when to apologize, but she also knows when to stand firm. She does not seek revenge on those who have wronged her. She understands that dignity means recognizing that some battles are simply not worth fighting. She lets karma take care of what needs to be handled. Instead of wasting energy trying to prove herself, she focuses on her own growth, her own peace, and her own success. People respect her not because she demands it, but because she carries herself in a way that naturally earns it. She is the kind of woman whose presence lingers even after she leaves the room. She is spoken about with admiration. She inspires others to carry themselves with the same dignity and self-respect. She does not seek attention, yet she is unforgettable. She does not seek praise, yet she is deeply respected. She moves with purpose. She does not waste time on meaningless distractions. She is focused, determined, and intentional in all that she does. Whether in her career, her personal life, or her passions, she gives her all. She does not do things halfway, nor does she settle for mediocrity. She knows that her time is valuable and she invests it wisely. Her confidence is not arrogance. She is aware of her worth but does not look down on others. She lifts people up, encourages them, and supports them. She is not threatened by the success of others, as she understands that there is enough space for everyone to shine. She does not need to tear anyone down to feel powerful. Her strength comes from within. She does not change herself to meet the expectations of others. She does not shrink herself to make people comfortable. She embraces every part of who she is, flaws and all, because she knows that dignity comes from self-acceptance. A woman like her does not need to announce her worth. It is evident in how she carries herself every day. Her dignity is her power, and that is what makes her truly, undeniably gorgeous. She embraces her uniqueness, knowing that real beauty is not about fitting in, but about standing out as her most authentic self. She does not seek approval for who she is, nor does she alter herself to meet someone else's standards. Her beauty lies in her confidence, her wisdom, and her resilience. She loves with an open heart, but knows when to walk away. She stands tall, even when life tries to bring her down. She is beautiful, not because the world says so, but because she is strong, wise, and unshakably herself. She never lets anyone make her doubt that.